Hi, welcome, and thank you for joining us today for the Master of Science in Commercial Real Estate webinar. My name is Ryan Christian, and I'm the graduate recruiter for the program. In just a few moments, we're going to be joined by our faculty director, Lynn McKee, and he's going to talk a little bit more about the curriculum. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and jump right on in and talk about what makes this program so special. We definitely have to talk about its prime location here in Atlanta, Georgia. So for you guys who are not familiar with Atlanta, Atlanta is located on the east coast of the United States, just north of Florida. It is the ninth largest city in the United States and by far one of the most affordable. We also have the world's busiest airport, which is going to make for cheap airfare as well as easy and convenient flights. And those flights are going to serve 150 U.S. destinations and more than 75 international destinations in 50 countries, with over 104 million passengers in the year 2021. Additionally, we do have a great public transportation system, which includes MARTA, which will take you right to your classes, both downtown and in Buckhead, and even the airport. Atlanta is also home to 29 Fortune 500 headquarters. In 2020, these 29 companies generated an aggregate revenue of over $429 billion. Also, some of the world's largest companies call Atlanta home, such as Delta, Coca-Cola, Cox Enterprise, Home Depot, and many more. Here we have some highlights for those of you who are looking at moving to Atlanta. A few rankings that I would like to highlight. So number one, best state for doing business. So a publication that covers corporate site selection and relocation ranked Georgia as the number one state in the United States for business for the 8th consecutive year. Also, we've actually increased from number 6 to number 1 for most attractive metro for Gen Zers. So what does this mean for you? Atlanta may actually be a great place to start or continue your career. So speaking a little bit more about Atlanta, here's a snapshot of downtown Atlanta. On the border around that picture, you'll see just a few companies that we're working with and putting our students in connection with. They're going to be coming to our campus for job fairs. They're going to be providing mentors and participating actively in our alumni association. We do have over 80,000 alumni, and many of them are in leadership positions. They're going to be giving back to our institution and providing our students with internship opportunities, experiential learning opportunities, as well as coming in as guest speakers. We have these connections with these companies, and putting you in front of them is what we do here at Robinson. So to talk a little bit more about Georgia State University, for those of you guys who are not familiar, we are the largest university and business school in Southeast U.S., top 10 largest university in the U.S., with over 53,000 students, as well as 1,700 graduate students. So if you take a look at that picture to the right, we're now the Georgia State Panthers, but over 100 years ago, we were known as the Georgia Evening College Owls. We were originally a spinoff of Georgia Tech, and since the beginning, we have been dedicated to working with working professionals. So those students looking to advance their careers while also balancing family, work, and any other important priorities in their lives. So that focus is deep in our roots. So most of our programs are geared towards working professionals. Between our longevity and our focus on working professionals, we have amassed an alumni of over 80,000 students, with about 40,000 of them here in Atlanta in the metro area. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities to make connections when it's time to start or advance your career. So here is an illustration that shows our most recent numbers that reflect our graduate student community. So as you'll see, just under 1,700 students. We're going to have a great mix of students, 54% female with 40% male, as well as 66% domestic students with 34% international. And as far as our international population goes, they're going to be represented from over 75 countries. Our domestic students are going to be represented for 29 states, and the average age is going to be 31 years. And on the far right-hand side, you'll see the 18 programs we have, and you're going to see them outlined there. So there's something for everybody here at Robinson. So here's what we're going to call your success team for the Master of Commercial Real Estate. So on your far left, you'll see our faculty director, as I spoke about earlier, Lynn McKee. You'll see myself, Ryan Christian, as the graduate recruitment manager. And basically my job is going to be to work with you guys from your first point of interest all the way until enrollment. Next, you'll see Gillian Barlow, who's going to serve as the Assistant Director of Student Experiences. and Corey Barham, who's an academic advisor. So she's the person that you'll work with to create your schedule each semester. So now I'm going to hand it over to Lynn McKee, the faculty director. And he, again, is going to talk to you a little bit more about the curriculum for the Master of Science in Commercial Real Estate.
I'm the director of the Masters of Real Estate program here at Georgia State. We're very proud of our program. We are the number 6 ranked Masters in Real Estate program among public universities in the nation, number 13 in all universities. Once again, we're very proud of how we rank as a top program in the country. It's important to realize that this program is about commercial real estate. That's why you underline commercial. So it's about the world of office buildings and shopping centers and hotels and industrial projects and things like that. It is not about residential homes. Many people hear real estate, they think residential homes. That's not what we're about. We're about income producing real estate. Okay. One of the things that makes our program unique is it's taught by seasoned real estate professionals. Most of your instructors will be professionals who have at least 10, most of them more than 20 years experience in the commercial real estate world. And they literally practice the profession during the day and come in and teach you at night. And we think that's very important that you learn from people who actually do it. The other thing the program will provide you is contact with some of the top commercial real estate people in the city. We run about 50 guest speakers through our classes each year, and you will have the opportunity to not only hear from them, but to meet them, exchange business cards, meet them for coffee. This is a tremendous opportunity to meet people that it would take you 10, 15 years in the business to meet some of these people if you meet them at all. And they're going to come into the classroom and speak to you. So that's an important advantage. Some of the certifications and things that you get through the program is you will get your Argus certification through the program. We have a whole class in Argus. Argus is the computer program. It's a cash flow forecasting program that everybody in the industry uses. And you will take a class in Argus and become Argus certified as the final exam in the class. You will also get fast track status for CCIM and MAI. CCIM is a very well-known organization and accreditation for more entrepreneurial investors. And MAI is the Appraisal Institute. And by taking our program, you will already have passed and received credit for the majority of the educational requirement for the CCIM and the MAI. So it gives you a real leg up on getting those important designations. Another important factor of our program is our alumni. Our alumni is over 4,000 people. And they are all over Atlanta. Matter of fact, they're all over the country, and some of them are all over the world. And that Real Estate Alumni Association becomes another part of your network. And we track where those alumni are working. And each year we send out to you a list of all of our alumni through the MSCRE program and where they work. So that when you're applying for a job at, say, Cousins Properties, you can look and say, okay, who works at Cousins Properties that was an MSCRE student? And you can reach out to them. And that's a real way to get your foot in the door. And then we also provide mentoring opportunities. Everyone in the program in the first class, if they want it, is assigned a mentor, a professional mentor, through an organization called RIGA and also through our honorary board. And they become very important to help you shape your career, decide where you want to go, help you make contacts. So those are all things that make our program unique. Next. So here are some of the places and partnerships that our graduates have gone on to work. We've put a lot of people at MetLife, a lot at Voya, Duke Realty, John Hancock. Matter of fact, Steve McRae from John Hancock comes in and speaks in our class. But this, we could literally fill pages and pages with these logos and these names of employers who have hired our people, our students, and who come to our classes and speak to you. Next. And so we talked about area GSU. We're really, for this year, we're going to kind of re-energize area GSU, which has been around since 1986, basically when the MSCRE program was created. And it is all of the alumni who have gone through the program, through the real estate program. And once again, an incredible networking opportunity for you. All right, so here's how the program is structured. It is a 12-month program. It is very condensed. It starts in August and it ends in the following July. Okay, everything starts in the fall. It is a cohort program, meaning everybody takes exactly the same classes. You're in the same classes with the same students, your same classmates. And that creates a really tight network that you have going forward of professionals. And many of our students, stay in touch and work with each other through years going forward. It's 10 courses. It's 30 hours, and the classes are small. Our classes are typically, a cohort's typically 25 to 30 people. And so it's a very intimate experience. You're never in a lecture with hundreds and hundreds of people. It's very much a hands-on, small educational experience. All the classes are taught in Buckhead. Are taught at our Buckhead Center, Tower Place 200 in Buckhead, and which is very convenient. MARTA's right there, great parking, so much easier to get to than downtown. Or you can take the program online. And timing wise, all classes are on Monday and Wednesday nights, so you can really plan out your schedule, because that's always when the classes are. They're always in the evenings, so almost all of our students work and then come to class. They start at 5:30 and they run to 9:45. So that's 4+ hours. They are long classes. We're going to talk about how we kind of break them up, but that's when they all are. And once again, most students work full-time or at least part-time while they're in the program. All right, here's what the curriculum looks like. We work on what's called the mini-semester system, which means a typical academic semester is 16 weeks. We cut that in half, and your classes are only 8 weeks long. Okay, and the way we can do that is, instead of your classes being 2 hours long, they're 8 hours long. So we cram it into a much condensed environment. And we feel that that's the best way to learn, because you want to get through this program, learn as much as you can, but at the same time, get through in a year, so you can get into your career or back to your career. Okay, so you're going to start out with a real estate's foundation class in August, the first mini-semester of fall. I teach that class. We're going to teach you all the foundational elements of what you need to be a commercial real estate professional. Some of you come in with experience in commercial real estate, others don't. So we're going to bring everybody up to the same foundational level. Okay. You also, during that first mini-semester, will be taking law negotiations. This is not a law class like, here's a contract, here's a Supreme Court case. This is a class in teaching you about the documents that you will use in commercial real estate: purchase and sale agreement, lease, joint venture agreement, those type things, loan agreement. Okay. And then negotiations. Almost all commercial real estate deals require some level of negotiation, often around these documents. So we combine those two together to be law negotiations. Okay. Second mini-semester, you'll get practically no break, and you'll go right into 2 more classes. The first class is the CRE modeling class. That's where you're going to learn how to use various industry models to forecast cash flows, because that's the key to commercial real estate investing, is forecasting what cash flows and values your properties are going to have. So there you will learn Argus, and you'll become Argus certified, as you talked about. You'll also learn a program called MSCRE, which is an Excel-based program. So you really need to get up to speed on your Excel skills, okay? Because that you're going to be dumped into a pretty high-level model in Excel, and you have to know how to use Excel. You also then take asset management, which is about, okay, I've bought this property or I've developed it. Now what do I do with it? How do I run it? How do I maximize value? When is the time to sell it? So you'll take that one. You'll then get a break. You'll need it for the holidays, and you'll come back in January in the spring. And the first mini-master, you'll take a class on CRE investments. That is buying existing commercial real estate properties and how you do that. You also have a class on financing commercial real estate. Commercial real estate is very capital intensive, and it almost always involves a combination of debt and equity. CRE financing will teach you all about the debt side of commercial real estate investing and development. Okay. You get a small break, you'll come back and you'll do CRE development, which now this is, how do I develop properties? How do I build properties from the ground up? Right? And then the last class in that mini master is CRE market analysis. And that's looking at, how do I determine in the market if there is demand for my property, and at what rents and what occupancies, right? You'll get another break. Basically, you get May, which once again, you will need it. And then you will come back and we'll finish up with 2 classes. We teach a class on CRE entrepreneurship, which is oriented towards those of you who want to go out at some point and form your own company versus working for a big company like I do. Okay, so we're going to teach you that. And then I wrap it all up with CRE case analysis. And that is a capstone class where you take everything you learned in the whole program and you apply it to 4 real estate investment, development, or finance opportunities. And you work in groups and you present those cases to a credit committee or an investment committee of industry professionals that we put together. And you have to defend your work and discuss about why you made certain decisions. So, and that ends in the last day of July. So there you go. There's the whole program. Okay. All right. Here's just a conceptual way, the way we look at the program. That is, we want you to think like an investor, lender, or owner of commercial real estate projects. Okay. And we want to teach you to think that way. And a successful commercial real estate property investment involves 4 different things. Okay. In the red box, you can see it involves a physical asset. Commercial real estate is a physical investment arena, okay? So you have to know how to develop properties, and you have to know how to run properties once they're completed, or if you buy an existing property. So it's all about the physical asset of the property. You also have to know about capital markets, because I said real estate, commercial real estate investment is very capital intensive. Properties are typically at least $5, $10, $15, $20 million, many above that. So you have to be able to raise the capital, because you are typically not going to have that capital yourself. So we're going to teach you about the debt markets and the equity markets for the capital. Commercial real estate is all about users. A piece of commercial real estate, empty office building, is actually a liability. It's not an asset. You have to have tenants. Tenants pay rent. Rent is what generates revenue. That's what creates value for your property. So those are the user markets. So we'll talk a lot about user decisions, why users need, or tenants or buyers need certain type properties. And then a lot about market analysis, which we talked about, how you know if there's demand for your property, what's the supply, what's the demand, what's the underlying economics. And then finally, legal and regulatory. Everything you do is going to involve some kind of regulatory, being it zoning or building permits or all kind of other regulations. And it's going to involve legal. You have contracts, you have, like I say, you have leases, you have loan agreements, and you have to negotiate each of those. So what we do is we take all those four elements and we pull them together, and we use a lot of case studies. We're very big on case studies, tons of applied projects. Almost every one of your classes are going to have a group project or some kind of applied project. We bring in industry experts and we teach you the latest in the modeling techniques. And what we do is we prepare you for an exciting career in commercial real estate.
Thanks, Lynn. So we talked about the classroom experience. So let's talk a little bit more about what else is going to be included in your tuition. So what our student services team does is going to be instrumental to any networking opportunities and advancing your career outside of what you'll learn in the classroom. They're going to be assisting you in the development of your professional skills. They will also be setting up co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Those will be such informational events such as Donuts and Coffee, which is held during finals week. They're also going to hold professional development workshops. There are going to be some industry events, as well as company and site visits. They're also going to organize all of your orientation and commencement activities. We also have the Graduate Career Advancement Center. So from week one, you can get started with your engagement with the Career Advancement Center. They're going to help you with your job search plan. So basically for any job fairs or information sessions that you do attend, they're going to make sure that you're prepared and you're going to get the most out of those activities. They will also help you join professional associations. Most are free or discounted while you're a student with us. And one thing to note that even after graduation, you can come back and take advantage of our Graduate Career Advancement Center and all of their offerings. So here are our employment statistics. So as you'll see, 84% of our students reported that they were employed within 3 months of graduation. You see the average salary is $120,654. You can also see the top quartile average salary, as well as the maximum reported salary. And so for those students who are already in their field and coming back to graduate education to move forward in their career, you'll see an average salary increase of 14%. An average time for payback for the investment is 1.1 years. So now that we've talked about the curriculum, we talked about some of the experience you're going to gain, let's talk about what it's going to cost you. So here's the investment summary that we break down into two categories. We break it down into in-state or domestic, or out-of-state or international. And so for our in-state residents that have been here for more than a year, the cost is going to be $37,500. For our out-of-state or international students, you'll be looking at $43,500 per year. There is an application fee of $50, which will be waived today by your attendance. Also, you're looking at a seat deposit of $250. Also, health insurance coverage is applicable. Another question that I get very often is financing your investment. So as you'll see on the screen, our graduate student financial services, you'll see their email as well as their phone number. They're going to help with any federal student loans, Grad Plus loans, or private education loans that you may be looking at taking out. So feel free to give them a call or email them at rcbfinancialaid@gsu.edu. The other options for financing your investment will be the merit-based scholarship, graduate research assistantship position, or department-specific scholarships. So for the merit-based scholarships, we look at that as being a part of the application. So all applications are reviewed for merit-based scholarships, and typically those go to our most competitive students with the highest academic profile. As far as graduate research assistantships, that is our highest award. And so what we're going to look at any test scores, the GMAT or the GRE that you do provide. But they're not required, but you do have the option of uploading them if you do feel like you have a competitive score. We look at the breadth and depth of your work, so what type of positions you've held, the length of time you've had them, as well as the overall academic profile of your application. There are also department-specific scholarships. These are typically awarded after your first semester. So do remember, do as well as you can your first semester. You can apply for those scholarships. And typically you have to have a reference from your professors. So to talk about the application process. So you can find the application at gradapply.gsu.edu/apply. There will be a $50 fee for that. Next, we'll talk about test scores. So again, the GMAT and GRE are not required. But again, if you feel like you have a competitive score and you want to add those, we do offer the option of uploading them to your application. For our international students, we do require an English proficiency test. We also do not accept Duolingo. So for the TOEFL, we look at a minimum of 90. For the IELTS, we're looking for a minimum of 6.5. If you are from an English-speaking country, we do have a list of countries such as Nigeria and Ghana who are exempt. If you've lived, worked, or studied in an English-speaking country, typically for 3 or more years, you can request to have a proficiency test waived. Transcripts. We require all transcripts from undergrad and graduate schools that you have attended. If you're international students, we do require that all transcripts are in English. If they are not, we do request that you have those evaluated. With resume, you will want to highlight any internship, leadership, and work experience, any relevant experience you want to showcase. You want to add in if it was full-time, part-time, as well as the location. Letters of recommendation are not required, but if you do provide a letter of recommendation, I do suggest providing either a professional or academic reference from someone who can speak to your skill set. Next, the personal statement, so no more than 700 words. This will allow us to learn a little bit more about you, your goals, why you chose Robinson in this specific program, why you feel like you may be a good fit for the program. One thing, again, that I do suggest is make sure you proofread it and have someone else look over it for any grammatical error that may exist. And lastly, the video interview. So it's going to be a brief 5-minute interview, self-recorded, so you will not be meeting with anybody. It'll be self-recorded. And it's going to be 3 behavioral-based questions. So make sure you're in a quiet space, dress as if you're going to an interview. And lastly, you will receive 3 attempts with that. So as you'll see here, the application deadline. So we have passed our first deadline for October the 16th. The next round for fall will be January the 22nd. And there's another round 3, March 18th, and round 4 is going to be May 6th. And some things to note for priority consideration for graduate assistantships. Make sure you submit your application for round 2. And for our international students, please consider applying no later than round 3. So I want to thank you for your time today. If you do have any questions, you can reach out to me at rchristian8@gsu.edu, or for any other questions, you can reach out to our admissions team at rcbgradadmissions@gsu.edu. Thanks again for joining. Have a great day.